the thing is, you gotta stop chasing something outside of you. Can you stop, like, how do I meditate? How do I create more? How do I follow my intuition? How you're seeking outside? Can you just shut up for a moment, and be yourself and feel this body that you have? It's funny because it was a healing process for me, 100%. So when I was 6 years old, I had an accident in my arm. I can't stretch my arm to this day because of this accident. And right after the accident and the surgery, my dad was like, I think he needs to have some sort of therapy, and he gave me the guitar. And so the guitar came at a moment of a lot of pain for me, and it was really a thing where I could channel my emotions and my healing. And since then, it's the love of my life. It's just like, I tried to do something else after school, like doing engineering, because I was kind of smart. I was not anymore. And- but then music just stuck with me, and I couldn't do anything else. So it was, I don't know if you really choose music. I think it's something that is kind of meant to be, and that it chooses you sometimes as well. So I think art and meditation and awareness practices and healing practices are completely connected. And I studied at Berklee College of Music. It's a very prestigious school, and I know a lot of artists from all kinds of different, like, directors, any kind of artist. And I think nobody's taking this connection seriously between the healing arts and how that cultivates identity so much, and how that knowing yourself, being aware of who you are, knowing how to feel good in your body is so important for the creative process. They are so connected, and that's what we do at Art Mystery School. Is we really give you tools so that you can find who you are as a person, and that will become who you are as an artist. So I think both are very connected. And to me, the journey was seemingly paradoxical. I was doing, music for films with Gustavo Santaolalla, my mentor for 10 years, like Steven Spielberg films, like top films. And on the other hand, I was going to rites of passage and Vipassana retreats and all these sorts of healings. And I was like, my life is split. But there was a moment when it just like clicked, that both were informing each other. And my music was informing my soul, and my soul work was giving me identity in my music. So I think they are completely the same thing. After meditating for like 7 years, I started getting into rites of passage, like nature retreats, like stuff that our ancestors would do that we forgot. Um, my first one was a vision quest with Darren Silver, which is going 4 days and 4 nights without food and without protection into the woods, and like find who you are and come back. Um, and it's really, it's abstract. It's an abstract question to answer, because it's not direct, the influence of nature. Like, it's not like, oh, the trees taught me how to lead. But spending time in nature and contemplating and asking the right questions in a place where the feedback is so pure, it's just nature, you find tools about who you are, and you find your vision. And I did a 4 retreat intensive with him, with Darren Silver. He has a school called Great Earth School, which I recommend to everyone, which is a school of vision, and it's all nature informed. So you go into nature, you come back, and you start finding who you are, and especially how it feels to be yourself when you detox completely from society. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah, it does.
nature teaches you how to lead by removing the layers of what you are not. I think we are all creative beings. I think the moment you wake up to make a coffee, you're having a creative act. Creativity is for everyone. Creativity is why we're here. We are a creative act, and that's why sexuality is also very important in the school. Like, the sexual energy that brought you here made you a creative being, that you're making choices all the time. I'm making the choice of doing this right now instead of staying stiff in my body. So creativity is something that we are always engaging with. It's not an artist. The artist then creates it in a specific container, with a specific intention, with a specific aesthetic for a goal. but we're creating all the time. So we all need to be working on our creativity, regardless if it's a job, if it's a business, if you're building a family, if you're building a whatever you're building, you're a creative being. I don't know if it saved me, but I don't know if art saved me, but it definitely helped me heal. You know? And I know I have friends that went through really tough divorces or deaths of family members, and they went and found refugee. I don't know how to say it. They found
Okay.
comfort in art, you know, in creativity, and the main reason why this happens, I believe, it's because it's a subconscious process if you are able to enter that state. So it allows you to express emotions that otherwise you wouldn't. You know, there's no place for them in society. So I cannot think about like a specific example now, but I think it's so important because it helps you release something that your mind is like trying not to do, not to talk about it, repress. So that's the healing process it creates. Yeah, I think everybody can evoke a sense of creativity in their lives by the intention of it. No, in the end, everything for me comes to intention. To when you're doing a ritual or any like meditation, you have an intention to it. So if you bring that awareness into everything you do in life, everything becomes a ritual and everything becomes a creative act. So it's about really like trying to get out of the automatism that we live in. It's like, oh, I wake up, I go do my coffee, I have to drive. And what if I like, oh, I wake up and I do my coffee, you know, and I go and take a drive and I like open up to the experience, like it's about the intention of it, not really about what we're doing. To me, it's a little bit like slowing down internally, not necessarily externally. You can be going really fast and internally have this extreme awareness and extreme slow pace. So that's why intention for me is key in the creative process. So in Art Mystery School, we help artists and creatives. When I say artists, it's all creatives. You can be building a business. For me, you can be an artist, a lawyer artist. It doesn't matter. But we help creatives to find their voice by a process of observation. So we consider everything you do as input. So the way you eat, the way you talk to your partners, the way you relate to your sexuality, the way your astrology, how you meditate, everything you do and are, it's input for us. It's a way of observing who we are, of analyzing like, okay, these are my tendencies, these are my edges, this is the limit, this is the box in which I consider who I am. And we play with those edges. We observe it, and then that process of owning who you are, and of owning where you are at, starts to translate into owning your art. Owning what you really want to say and how you want to say it. Because we're not like dissociated beings. The way we do something here is the way we do it here. We just never think of it like that. So we observe who we are, and it's beautiful because maybe you want to expand your sexuality, or maybe you've never danced and you have a safe space where you can enter a movement practice. And in that process, you find a lot of who you are. And naturally, that goes to your art, which for us, that is output. Is the only output is your creativity. The rest of the stuff you do is analysis for who you are, because we live in these automatic cycles. So we step back and we watch them, and then we find some common ground with how we create. And we shift here, this shifts here. Sounds abstract, but it really works. And it's what changed me, is the way that I grew as an artist, is by owning pieces of me that seem disconnected. And it's kind of magical, but it takes time. And learning who you are and of owning what you really are, because a lot of art is like, I'm trying to be something I'm not. Yeah, or I should be this, thing that is like a record that is massive, and I should do music like that. And it's about coming back to you. And the way to come back to you is owning you, is seeing who you are and being like, okay, this is really what I want. Let's go do it now. for me, doing things I've never done is magic. You find so many things about yourself, especially if they are risky. There's one, I have a course that is called tuning into source. So it's like tuning into you, and it's calibration practices. So we go one week after the other, we go through like different practices to beat shame or to beat comparison. And there's one week which is do something that is really dangerous for you, that you've always wanted to do and you've never. Go do it. Go do that skydiving, go do that salsa lesson, or go have that conversation that you need to have, like, but go face the danger, because when you go through it, you realize it was all in your mind, and
Ah,
it was
yes.
not that big of a deal usually. Beautiful. I never thought about this. I do think that creativity contributes to overall well-being because we are actually owning our life. I think a lot of pain in the world comes from us being disconnected from the things we really want to be creating. So a lot of the healing becomes as a selfish process, no? As a I need to be good so that the collective is good, no? And that's part of the creativity healing, no? It's like when you start to do the things that your soul wants to, that your heart wants to, that you came to do, you become instantly a better person. You stop putting things in others. So I think if we own our creative visions and dreams, we are contributing to the overall well-being, and we're actually inspiring other people to do the same. And
Mm.
I see this, we call them anonymous artist circles. It's like AA, it's a kind of a joke. But we do group therapy. We just get together and we talk about where we are at our processes, and in the end we all have the same issues, we all have the same enemies, they just show up slightly different for each other. But there's so much freedom when we are able to open up and share where we are at, and our failures, our good things, all of it. And there's a healing there when we open up to our truth and we inspire others to do the same. And that applies to creativity. So I started at school kind of like not by choice, but by a vision that I had. And this happened through the 4 intensives at Great Earth School. I was at my last one after doing a vision quest, and it just came to me that I needed to share this knowledge that I've been through 10 years of initiations and meditation and this searching. I needed to share it with my tribe, which are artists. No. And I know so many artists in so much pain and frustrated because their art is not doing the things they want to do. And it came through that, no, kind of like wanting to help my tribe of artists, help heal each other, because it's really painful. I studied at Berklee. I graduated 11 years ago, and to this day I think 90% of the people that went to school with me are not doing art anymore, or they are not even, or they're even like angry at art.
Mm.
And so it's like a process of helping them remember they are angry at themselves, first of all, not art. And how can you heal that to come back to that joy of creating without the pressure of being famous or being rich? Doesn't That's not the point. The point is a healing for our own tribe of artists.
Mm.
And to be honest, it's really scary to be building this, and it's also a process of grief for me, because I might not be that artist that I wanted to be. Maybe I came to be a school founder, but it's also like, okay, I surrender to the creative will that wants to come through me. I have so many things to say to try to motivate people, and I think that's one of my roles, being a cheerleader. Being the cheerleader for the people that don't have cheerleaders in their life.
Mm.
Because
That's really nice.
I truly believe that everybody is a genius and has a genius within. Everybody. There's not one person in this world that is not a genius, and I don't think there's bad people. I think there's broken people doing bad things. But I really believe in like the kindness of the soul. And so I think some words of reassurance is that you already have what you want within you. It's just the process of slowing down and coming back to that. So how can you slow down? How can you feel good about yourself? What practices analyze your life. What things and people and places make you feel more of yourself, and which that doesn't? How can you remove those? Really, a process of asking a lot of questions and being aware enough and courageous enough to follow the answers, because you already know what you have to do.
Mm.
Everybody knows what we have to do. We just play dumb and we're like, oh, it's too uncomfortable. So can you sit with that and follow that? That's my only. I would start there.